Today I'm working on this painting, continuing along, and I'm using a jumbo size R&F pigment stick. This is an oil stick, and I really like using it to make marks and add some color and shapes, which is easier to do, I find, than using a brush. So I'm using a smaller version of the same thing here. This is kind of the normal size. And I'm just putting some more line work and scribbles and color in through this, building up layers as I go. Here I'm using a teal colored stick. So these are the R&F pigment sticks. I like them because they're really buttery and soft, and they do seal over when you're not using them, so you'll have to either cut that end off or just twist it with a paper towel to open it up again. They do dry fairly fast. They have not only the high level of pigment, but they also have some linseed oil and I believe some wax in them. So they're so super easy to use. I like taking them out doing plein air as well. Here I'm using the Messermeister bowl scraper, and I'm just softening these marks down, kind of pushing them into my painting a bit more. Working on an abstract painting is always kind of a yin-yang approach based on your last move and responding to your marks. When I feel my painting is getting tight, that's when I like to come in with some mark making tool that I can use. So things that are compatible with cold wax and oil are not only the oil sticks, but you can use China marker and Stabilo crayons, different pastels. So just experiment with that. I like also to use the Lyra graphite stick, and so many things that you can experiment with. What you don't see in the video is all the time I spend stepping back and looking at the work, deciding what I'm going to do next. It doesn't all happen as fast as it looks. So again, just shifting the color and adding new places. You can use catalyst blades as well, or other types of scrapers. I do like the Messermeister because it has quite a wide blade on it, and it's got a nice beveled edge that's soft, so you can get some good blending happening. Now I have turned the painting over now 180 degrees just to give it a bit of a different orientation. This is something I like to do as well to keep my work fresh and moving. So if I'm feeling stagnant, I will turn it and work on it in another orientation, and I find that can be very helpful to as well. Because of that, and working with oil paints and solvents, I always wear gloves. These ones are nitrile gloves that I buy in a large box, and they're used in the metal industry. They're very thin, but one thing, if it's really hot out, your hands sweat. So I also use gardening gloves, ones that fit quite tight but are a lot easier to take on and off, and I find that they're a lot less wasteful than using the nitrile gloves. So that is another option. Whatever you use, it needs to fit your hand fairly well so that you can feel with the fingertips and you have a control of your hand. I tend not to use brushes with cold wax and oil work myself very much, but it is something that you can certainly do. And this painting is on a cradled panel, a birch cradled panel. You do need a hard surface if you're mixing about 50% wax into your paint. If you do want to work on a canvas that has a flex, it's important to use less wax. You need to take it down to 30% so that it doesn't have the flex and it won't come off the canvas. So please keep that in mind. For my method, I do prefer to have a hard surface underneath. Here you see me using a piece of foam to make a transfer. So this is like having a stamp. So I've just used one of the oil sticks and drawn these circle shapes onto this piece of foam. I got this from the craft store, and there's other things you could use. You could use some styrofoam deli trays, or a piece of cardboard would probably work. So just look around and see what you have, but it's a really fun technique to transfer some marks onto your work. So I'm adding some white back into my work just to bring some life back into the center. So I've made quite a few changes on this piece, and it's feeling closer to being finished, but I'll probably still do some more on it. When I get to this end stage, I really like to slow down and start really looking at my painting with critical eyes. You never want to push too far. Keep your painting fresh, and that's where it's good to stop before you're finished. Thanks for watching.